Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video we will see how the implicit wait works in Selenium. So when we are writing a code, we might know that sometime it happens when we are trying to find an element. For example, here we are trying to find an element by id list.ib. It might possible that the element is not get loaded onto the web page due to any reason. One reason can be there's a slow internet connectivity. So even though the web page is open, but maybe the text box has not yet loaded onto the DOM and not yet loaded onto my page. At that time, if this script get executed, it will throw an exception to us or an error to us. So in order to avoid this situation, what we can tell our code that if in case it is not able to find some element, let's wait for few seconds, and then also if it's not able to find an element, then only throw an exception. And how it is done in Selenium? Through implicit wait. And what command we have to write? We have to write driver dot manage dot timeout dot implicit wait. And now I need to give the seconds. I can give like 5000, and then I can give 5000s are my milliseconds. Okay, so I'm using time unit as milliseconds. Okay, so this is a way through which we can write an implicit wait. And what this will do, this will tell the scripts that if in case some of the element are not get loaded, after that it will wait for at least 5 seconds before it throw an exception. Let's say it trying to run this code and is trying to find the element, but the element is not get loaded after 1 second. It will not throw an exception, it will wait. After 1 second, it will check again if the element is loaded. If it's loaded, then it will just return the element and move forward with driver.close. But let's say after 2 seconds also my element is not get loaded, it will wait for 3 seconds, then 4 seconds, then 5 seconds. Let's say it is not loaded after 5 seconds also, then only my Selenium will throw an exception. So this is how the implicit wait works. And also one more important thing, implicit wait works for all the elements. So once you define the implicit wait in your code, after that whatever elements you write on your code in that script, that all the scripts will wait at least for 5 seconds. You cannot tell Selenium to wait for one element for 5 seconds and another element for 10 seconds. That is another concept called explicit wait, which I will tell you in another video. So I hope I was able to explain you the implicit wait, and now we will see what is the architecture of the implicit wait. Okay, so if you see this line driver.manage.timeout.implicit wait, what it is, we can see driver is one kind of a variable. Okay, and you will see this is our driver, and this variable we are instantiating a class Chrome driver, and this driver is a reference of a interface web driver. Okay, so when you type driver.manage, it means that there is one method manage which is defined in WebDriver interface, and that is implemented somewhere in Chrome driver. Okay, when you call this manage method, it will return some interface which is called timeouts. So let me show you the Selenium doc for that, which will be more clear for that. So I have opened the Selenium doc. So you will see this is an interface WebDriver, and in this interface WebDriver there is a method called manage. Okay, so when you call this manage method, let me just click on that. Okay, so when you call this manage method, it will return an interface to you that is called WebDriver.option. Okay, and if you go to this interface WebDriver.options, there is another method in that is called timeouts. Okay, so that's the reason when we type driver.manage, then it gives an option of timeout because it is a method which is in WebDriver.options. When we click on this timeout, Okay, let me go again. Okay, so this is a timeout method. So this is a timeout method which return me one more interface which is called WebDriver.timeouts. Okay, and if I go into this interface, you will see there are three methods given here, from which one method is implicit wait. All right, so if we see the code again, it says driver.manage. So my driver instance is calling a manage method, and manage method is returning me the interface called driver.options. Okay, we can see it again in the Java docs. Let me go on the first page again. Okay, so this is the interface WebDriver. In the WebDriver interface, there is a method called manage, and this, when we call this manage, it returns me an interface WebDriver.options, and that interface has one more method which is timeouts, and this method returns me an interface called WebDriver.timeouts. And under this interface we have a method called implicit wait. That is the reason its syntax is like this: driver.manage.timeouts.implicit wait. And you will wonder, where is the implementation of all these methods? Let's say, where is the implementation of manage method or timeout method or implicit wait method? So most of the implementation is either done in the Chrome driver, which is here, you will see in this line, or maybe the Chrome driver which is extending the remote web driver. This is a remote web driver, and see, the remote web driver implements web driver, implements take screenshot, implements Java executor. So most of the methods are implemented in remote web driver, which is getting extended by the Chrome driver. Okay, so this is the internal architecture of implicit wait. Now in the next video, I will tell you how the explicit wait works and what is the architecture of explicit wait. Alright, so I hope I was able to explain you about the implicit wait. Thank you for now.